dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. Yup. What's up? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you this evening. How do I know? Because I said so. And we typically do. We try to give solutions and resolutions to those questions that seem to be plaguing individuals. And today we're going to be talking about why is a good wife hard to find? In some aspects, we'll say, where can you find the good wives? And this came from the scripture in the text. I had it on top of my mind. I can't think of it right now, but it talks about, Proverbs 31:10, when it talks about a wife is hard to find, just as precious as rubies they are, right? And so that led me to want to have the conversation on the podcast about, is it really hard to find a wife? Is it the men? Is it the women? What is it? And so I wanted to have that conversation. And so before we get started, I'm gonna play this video and then the panel will be introduced. And then matter of fact, I'm gonna introduce the panel first, right? No, I'll take the back. I'm gonna play the video and then I'm gonna introduce them. They'll get to say what they say, one after the other. Here we go.
We were very honest from the start.
I really was praying, God, I want what you want for me.
She loves God. She's got a caring nature. She's beautiful.
It was evident that God was in his life.
It's been a beautiful journey, just getting to know each other and being intentional.
I just knew it wasn't going to be like past relationships.
I feel proud to say, yeah, this is my wife, this is my family.
I haven't experienced a man like James before. When something good like that comes along, you're like, wow.
I'm James.
And I'm Victoria. And we met on Christian Connection.
All right, so I wanted to ask the panel, what do they think about the modern day aspects of meeting their spouse, or what's their take on the video? And we're gonna start first with my dude, Prototype, in the building.
No applause. Hold it. I mean, I think people are meeting online now, I think more than ever, right? So it's become the way of the world as far as meeting people, right? I missed this phase of life. You know what I'm saying? I got a wife well before dating apps came out. So, but that's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? So things change, and I don't know. I used to like the hand-to-hand combat of meeting people, but that's not how people are meeting now. So I really don't have a say on how, if it's working, then it works.
That's fair. That's fair. And so we'll get more into it. So for you say, well, it's just the way of the world right now.
Yeah.
And so for you haven't had to go through that process. That's a bit, right? Let's take it to Miss Sierra in the building. You doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you for being on the show.
Of course. Anytime. So me personally, I think I like more hands-on, just like what Prototype was saying. It's a more realistic feel. I'm not really into the meeting online thing. I know everyone is doing it, but I think it's more realistic when you meet somebody in person, being that you can feel out a person, You know what I'm saying? Because on them dating apps, you get a lot of catfishing. Like a person to say they one thing, and then you meet them, they something in somebody else totally different. You know, so me personally, I think meeting in person, you know, is it's more authentic. You know, again, everything energy based. You could meet a person one time and feel like, you know what, he ain't really gonna be for me, or she not for me. You know, all off based off how a person feel to you. So that's my take on it. You know, but again, like Prototype was saying, that's the way of the world. You know, everything is technology. It's the new world. I
That's
mean,
what's up.
to each his own, you know.
Okay, to each his own. All right, cool. We're gonna talk about it a little
Mhm.
bit more about it in a few moments. And welcome to the stage, none other than the Barry White in these streets, lost in translation.
Go on inside and get yourself something cool.
Hey,
That's good, buddy.
what's happening, HD? What's going on?
Good, boss. How are you?
I'm good, good to be here, man. Good to be here.
For sure. What you got?
Listen, man, I've been watching this dating thing for quite a while,
Yeah.
and I remember when dating apps first came out, it was like a faux pas. Oh, nobody never meets anybody on dating apps. To the complete opposite end of the spectrum, where everybody meets on dating apps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the killing part about it is, man, people have always tried to say what's gonna be and what's not gonna be. But nothing is a substitute for getting to really know somebody. Like the video, the first thing that came out his mouth was honesty. And I can dig that because you can build your relationship on honesty. And I really like that. Now, as somebody who's been catfished quite a bit, a few times myself, I can understand. I can appreciate a little honesty. You know what I'm saying?
Yay. Okay. So you cool with it being online. You just want
Oh,
the
yeah.
honesty to be there.
I just want some honesty, man. That's all.
That's what's up. So just put some respect on it. I got it. So for me, I would say, it is obviously the way of where we're at now, but I think that there are also people that are meeting in network settings. But looking at the data, this is the number one way that people are meeting. But it's a struggle because, as you each have said, you don't know who to trust because people can put whatever they want to put on the internet. I met my wife on the internet, not intentionally meeting her on the internet. That's not I didn't use a dating app or anything like that. I was in the middle of an argument. You feel me? And so and as a result, I ended up talking to somebody that became my life partner, So in my opinion, I think you shouldn't force it. If you're going to be online, you got to be able to know that it's very possible that you may not meet somebody there. You got to be open to wherever that person is coming from my particular perspective. That's what I would say. But to each their own, obviously, but don't force it, right? All right, so this is the question, like we're talking about why is a good wife hard to find? And we'll get to that question, but I like definition. So you already kind of have an idea what the question is going to be, but if you don't, this is it. What qualities define a good wife in today's society? What qualities define a good wife in today's society? Should we let the guests go first?
Oh, yes,
Let's go.
definitely.
What qualities define a good wife in your perspective?
Is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Okay. Me, I believe what defines a good wife is someone that's, your life partner. Someone that, I guess, let me see. Let me think. Hold on, y'all. A good wife, I feel, is a stress reliever, to the husband, to the home. Not a stressor, you know what I'm saying? Um, Someone that's going to make sure the house is together. Everyone plays a role. Everyone have a role to play in a relationship. The woman have a role and the man have a role. I believe, with the wife, She's there to make everything easier for the man, vice versa. You know, the wife is there to help with the kids, you know, to cook, you know, like y'all men as black men, you know, y'all out there slaying dragons every day, all day, on top of being a black man in society. So I feel like when you come home, you want to come home to peace. And you want to come home that your home is your refuge, you know. So I feel as if, you know, the wife is there to make everything easier. Take the stress away. Take the stress off, you know. Like I said, help with the kids, help with the home, keep the man, you know, level, you know, because y'all go through a lot of things, you know, mentally, you know, emotionally, even though y'all don't express yourself like that. But I think it's for us as a good wife, we have to know our mate. We have to be able to read y'all, you know, be able to know when to fall back a little bit. Because shoot, I ain't never been a wife. I've been engaged a couple times, but I'm a good woman and I know what a good woman is, you know. And I ain't no wife yet, but God put me here to be somebody's wife, you know. And I just feel like a wife is supposed to be a stress reliever for y'all, for the men.
That's what's up. Who would you like to go? What's up? Before we go, hey, what's up, Sir Hale? What's going on with you, bro?
HD, salute to you, sir. Hey, Sierra, what's going on, Prototype? My man lost in translation. What's going on?
Good to see you. Hey, Miss Sierra, who you got going next?
I'm gonna go on and put Mr. Sir Hale on. Let him go on.
Hey, this is gonna be
appreciate you. Well, so this is a really good question, Humble Dad. And you know, as I look through the generations, things have changed. So if this was 1990s, I would 100% say, you know, a woman that's, you know, keeper of the home, you know, cook us some dinner, take care of them children, which I think are still components. But I'm going to build upon what Miss Sierra said, because I like what she said. I'm going to build upon that. So not only does a good wife make things easier, she makes things better. So a good quality of a wife is something that I find highly attractive. It's her ability to keep on learning something. Like, what was the last book you read? What was the last course you took? What was the last thing you've learned that's going to help improve you as a woman? That's going to help these children? That's going to help me in this business? So something that's attractive to me is a woman who is intentional about her own personal development and growth, and then learning more about yourself from a spiritual perspective. Like, who are you in Christ? Who are you in God? Like, what is your moral compass? You know, do you have a prayer life? What does your faith look like? So those kind of qualities to me in today's world are even more pronounced and necessary than it used to be, because I think with the need of having a 2-income household, we can't just have women who are just great domestically. We got to have some women who say, you know what, if I need to put this master's degree to good use, I will. I got it in my back pocket unless I need to. But until such a time, I'm gonna go ahead and bake this pie. Right. So I think we need things like that. Somebody who can learn and then take what she's learned, you know, like we talked about last week, and take what she's learned and help apply to your mission, to the mission of the household. I think learning is a good quality that's needed in today's society for a good wife. I'm going to go to my main man, Lost in Translation podcast.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Hal. You know what? I'm gonna build up on what you said. How about that? If I may. I think a wife is a profession, man. You know what I mean? Just like anything else, it's a profession. Think about it. I don't know if y'all remember this movie called 300, and Leonidas marched his soldiers into the hot gates, and he met the Athenians there, you know, and the Athenians asked Leonidas, he was like, you only bought 300 men. He only bought 300 soldiers. So he's like, you know what? Let me show you something. He leaned over and asked him, he said, you, sir, what do you do? He said, I'm a carpenter. And looked at the other dude, said, you, sir, what are you doing? He said, you know, I'm a blacksmith. So he looked over to his boys. He said, Spartans, what is your profession? And they said, oh. You know what I'm saying? He said, as you can see, I brought more soldiers than you. You know what I mean? So I think a wife is a profession. You know, a lot of women like to be wives, but they don't really understand exactly sometimes what it takes to be a wife. You know, there are certain things in the job description that don't necessarily fit in all the time, you know, that you don't think about. There may be situations where you have to step in and intervene and pray for your husband from time to time, you know, when he's down. There are certain situations where you may be down and you need to trust your husband to do what needs to be done. And in order for you to trust him, you've had to build up some type of emotional capital along the way. Those are some of the things that takes a while. And not only that, you still have to take care of kids, you know, that type of thing. And then also allow your kids to take care of you. And I think sometimes women like to take on these burdens from time to time and not allow other people to pour into them when they're pouring into other people. So it's also one of those things where you have to be able to allow to have people to be poured in as you are poor, people pour into you. So it's a skill set that has to be learned. And sometimes there are a lot of other functions of the skill set of being a wife that's very, very important. And to speak on what Sir Hale said, somebody who's always improving, being an intelligent person, because sometimes your husband may require you to be a sounding board, you know, to spring ideas off of, to bring forth those things that need to be done, and those imaginations that he used to bring new ideas to help the family out. So it's always better to have a wife who's very intelligent, so you can actually have somebody to incubate those dreams and hopes of the family off of, to build on, to create these legacies that we say that we wish, you know. And I'm gonna go with Prototype next.
That's good.
Thank you, good brother. A good wife to me is kind of simple, right? A good wife is attentive. I think that's important. Proactive, intuitive, insightful, motivating, involved in the mission and the goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so all those things, if you have those things for a man, you basically, you know, his goals are different. Every man's goals are different. But if you are those things for each man, you'll be a good wife. So keep that in mind. So yeah.
That was good. I was going to say the same thing, Prototype, to some degree. I would say that a good wife is the missing piece to the man for his piece. So, for example, it's supposed to be a puzzle, right? It's two becoming one, and each person has a different skill set. But the thing of it is, with the skill sets that you have, it should be able to be something that complements one another. And so a good wife is able to be a complement. In math, they call it complementary angles. Y'all know what those are? If you don't know what those are, it's a 90-degree, it's two angles coming together to make a 90-degree angle, and it's called a right angle. And so the wife should be a complement to her husband. So if I'm at a point that I am at a 35, then she should be my 65, right? And also I would liken it also to, because I would say the journey is somewhat of warfare. And so I call it my 6, right? That she had my 6 and I got her 6. So wherever my blind spot is, she's able to say, you know what, babe, I know this is where we should go, but this is an idea that I'm having with you. What about this way? And then he says, okay, let's look at that. And then if there's a good way to go, then he does do so. So I would say a good wife is someone that's a complement to that man, and every man is different. That's the thing, like what Prototype was saying. So you would need to see if whatever that guy's vision is, what his mission is, and if you're able to fit into that and be able to elevate him and propel him to where you see where he's trying to go, that would make you a good wife, right? That's it for now. So what y'all guys wanted to add? Go ahead, Sir Hale.
Yeah, I got to add on to this. You know what I'm saying? So not only is she the missing link, Humble Dad. Now you're gonna like this one. You might do your Baptist wrong when I say this one. She's an upgrade too. Now look, so every now and again, I might nerd out and get on a game. Yes, Sir Hale, at sometimes I play my game. And so I played this game, God of War. Love this game. I love anything with swords and that type of scenery I love. So you can play the game with certain tools. You can get through the game with certain tools. But them upgrades though, like them upgrades will get you through some things and unlock different realms and different treasure. I think it's the same thing with a good wife. that woman will extend you. Like she will upgrade your wardrobe. She would tell you, babe, like you got this ugly way, like your feet stink. You need to start using this instead. Like I'm talking about, like from the simple things to like life. She will upgrade. She'll have you introduced to people you didn't know before. She upgrades your taste. Like all you like to do is go to Whataburger and have a burger and some fries. And she's like, babe, you need to understand what filet mignon is. You need to know what a good piece of steak is. You need to know where a good restaurant is. Listen, I know you like to shop at Walmart, but I want you to go over here to the suit depot and we're going to get you a custom tailored suit that's tailored to your body. Like a good wife will upgrade you and extend your thinking, and she'll have you seeing yourself better because not only is she the missing link, that woman is an upgrade.
That's a fact. That's what's up. Listen, that was a song, right? Let me upgrade you. Right?
Yeah,
Was that Beyonce or something like
that was
that?
Beyonce.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a
if she,
Christian. I'm not sure who that was. Humble Dad.
I heard it was Beyonce. So you good?
Good.
Yeah.
oh, okay, we got some legalists in the building. Okay,
Are y'all trying to like get men married, or y'all trying to keep them single? What are y'all doing right now?
talk to me. What you mean?
The stuff
trying
y'all
to get-
listening, like, it's not realistic, man.
Oh no, I was just thinking about the word upgrade, not necessarily.
Yeah,
what
the word upgrade, extend me, all that. Like, what are we doing? What's the objective of today's show? Are we trying to get men married, or are we
Hold on,
trying to
let's-
keep them single?
I'd
Like,
like
what
to
are we
talk
doing?
about this. So what do you mean? So I've been with the same woman for 20 years, married going on 18 years this June. Since getting with this woman, I have started off having a GED. I've got 2 degrees, about to finish one now, on my way to get my MBA next. Got a business that I've started, successful in my profession. I'm with her and I'm better because of her. She has definitely upgraded me. And as a consequence of what she's been to me, I've turned around and blessed her as well. So what are we talking about, Prototype?
So are you saying if you didn't have her, none of these things you would be doing?
No, I told you I could get through the game with my tools, but she upgrades me.
Listen. If
But
she
listen,
wasn't in the picture,
you're talking
would
to a
would
man.
you not
I've been
be
with this
doing
woman for 20 years. I've been with her now. I've been with her more of my life than I've been apart from her. Yes, she's been an upgrade to me.
She expedited it. That's what she did.
it? No, she didn't.
Expedited.
It took her 20 years to do it.
How is it? But you can't say
Journey,
that though, because according to your logic, every man is different. So you wouldn't be able to make that determination.
So are you saying would you be this guy with her or without her?
I don't who I am today. It's almost a question that can't be answered, right? Because I am who I am being with her. Now, if you're saying whether or not I possess the locus of control to be something, of course I would be something with or without her. I absolutely would be. But my Bible says something like this: like 1 could put 1,000 to flight, and then 2 could put 10,000. So I won't take away from the power of me being with this woman just because I could conquer 1,000 by myself.
Bias.
Upgrade.
What you think, Proto?
I think he's speaking bull jive.
Okay,
I mean, he's speaking his anecdotal experience, but it's not common. That's
I don't agree. I don't agree
You're not
with
married,
that
so you don't have
prototype.
to agree.
It don't matter,
This is
but
the thing, though. Women
it don't
aren't
matter.
Women are not upgrading men. They're not extending men. And as long as you guys put this, a woman's supposed to do this for you, extend you, and upgrade you, and introduce you to people.
I disagree with your definition. If she's not upgrading you, she's not a wife.
You're going to keep
Simple.
men single. That's what's going to keep because women don't do that, and women you're not going to find it.
So by that logic,
Well,
the reason they're
women
not
do
upgrading
it.
them is because they're not wives. That explains what you're just saying. If they were upgrading them, that would be a wife.
Let me hear what seats you got. What you got? What you saying?
Well, what I'm saying is I totally disagree with prototype because I've been in relationships and the qualities that I bring as a woman, I've upgraded all my men. Some men, they don't know the potential that they actually have in us as women. A good woman, now I won't even say a wife, but a good woman, we're gonna pull certain things out of you. We're gonna make you see certain things that you didn't see in yourself, that you probably did see that, but you didn't have the partner to pull that thing up out of you. So I totally disagree with you. Regardless if I'm a wife or not, I got wife qualities, and I'm somebody's wife. I just ain't got married yet.
How old are
Okay,
you?
so I'm 37.
You good?
I'm 37. 37, very wise. Okay, very wise. And all my men wanted to marry me. I just cut it off. Okay, so let's not get just because I'm not married don't mean I don't know what's going on out here.
It does mean you don't know what's going on.
No, that's impossible. I know.
That's exactly what it means. That you don't
No,
know
it
what's going
don't.
on.
No, it don't. No, that I totally disagree with you on that.
You could. That's fine.
I do.
So it looks like this. So are you saying, Prototype, that a man is going to get to their particular position without a wife? That's what you're saying. And a woman can help him get further. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that's a great fairy tale you guys are telling. I'm just saying it's not realistic for men to be searching for.
So okay, so if that is true, if that is true, then why does the information show differently that men do better and extend financially when they get married? Why do they say that?
It's the pressure that's put on you to make sure you take care of what you created, but it don't necessarily. It's not the woman helping and aiding. I mean, are they out there? Very few and far between, but it's just not common.
Okay, so what your statement was, she applies pressure. That's what you just said.
No, she's not. She's not applying pressure. The man,
but you said that there is pressure to make sure that that man gets to a particular point because he has her. Is that right?
There is pressure because he created some additional responsibilities.
Okay,
so
that's
even with, but it has nothing to do with who she is. It's just the fact that I got this wife.
It has everything to do with what she is.
Relax. I got this wife. I got these kids. And now that I had this, you know what I'm saying? I can't. This is all on me. It's kind of like Jordan going to carry his team.
No, Jordan did not carry his team until he had
Jordan got teammates.
Jordan became who he was when Scotty.
A good player is going to carry their team. A good player is going to be like, all right, it's on me.
They won't win championships without the complementary pieces who extend and upgrade them. Come on,
that player still get that.
Come on, he wasn't a champion until he got Scotty Pippen and Phil Jackson.
One at a time.
Come on, Vic. Like Prototype. I understand.
I'm not talking semantics. I forgot you on your semantic mode tonight. My bad.
This is semantics mean we're saying the same thing.
That's
what we're saying is antithetical. This is not semantics. This is a difference of opinion, right? You said something great that I agree with. A wife, by virtue of her, there is pressure. I could say that she might not be adding it directly, but I definitely agree with you that just having one creates pressure. Now, you go to the gym, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when you're upping your weight, do you not have a spotter there at first? You need them there to help you to break free, to break loose, to do more than you could do by yourself. And then once you have them there long enough and you develop the strength, you no longer need them for that level. Is that a fair statement? Oh yeah, come on.
I'm not going to be cocky right now.
I'm walking you into a corner, my brother. I'm walking you into a corner.
He don't need a spotter. Let me ask
you. If you don't need a spotter, it's because you're not growing.
I'm not going to be cocky right now. So,
tell me what you think.
You know what? I'm going to try to bridge the gap between Prototype and what Sahel and everybody else is saying. From what I'm hearing from Prototype, he says just because a woman is a wife, by default, she's not adding value. There has to be something else there. You know what I mean? But if that's the question, then I question why is she your wife? You know, to speak to what Sahel was saying.
Now we talking. Let's talk about why men are getting married.
I put to there are a lot of women who are stealing valor from good women who are wives, who are good at what they do, and they're taking the name of wife only and not in practice. And I think sometimes when you hear, in practice, sometimes you'll hear guys will marry anybody, and that person is not a profession at being a wife, which speaks to what Prototype is saying. But to speak to what Sahel is saying, if you picked a good wife, she is indeed an asset. And here are the things that she adds. So I can see where some things like this could get lost in translation, but that's why definitions are so very important. So that way I have to ask Prototype, what is his definition of a wife? And then I ask Sir Hale, what is his definition of a wife? And try to see if we can come into a consensus on what a wife is. Because if we get right down to it, Prototype's idea of a wife may be a little bit different than what Sir Hale is saying. But if we come to a consensus and agree, then we can say, hey, look, these are the characteristics of a wife. Not only is she intelligent, not only is she beautiful, not only is she caring, not only is she intelligent, not only is she giving and loving and all these other things that go into the mix. You know, these are the foundations of what a wife is. And if we can agree on that, then we can move the conversation forward and say, yeah, you know what, I can see what you're saying. You know, based upon, you know, what you see, I can see where you would say that. But like I said earlier, some women steal valor, man, from good women, and they just put on a uniform of wife and not really, you know, doing the actual service. You know, I think Dave Chappelle made a joke about it one time. You know, he said that he put on a police uniform. He was talking about how sometimes women dress scantily clad, and he was like, you know, so he said, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I act this way. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes he was like, you know what if I put on a police outfit and I just walked around and he was like, help, police, help. And then he said, well, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I'm the police. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So I think I said to wrap all that up, you got some people who like to put on the uniform and not to perform the duties, or somebody who's not been skilled at the duties. And I think that has to go back down to what we require from our wives and what is the base model level of what a wife is. And then that little something extra that she brings that you didn't anticipate on. And I think those are the gray areas that we're talking about.
Yes, I think that's a really good statement. So when we went back, and we go back, Prototype, you said what defines a good wife? Because you made a statement, which was what?
What defines, like I said, is somebody that's attentive and proactive and intuitive and insightful and motivating and involved in the mission. Like, you know what I mean? That's what makes a good wife.
Okay. So when we talk about the mission, you also talked about that it's a business as well to a degree, right? You're a CEO. Now, would you keep around employees that do not help you get to your bottom line?
It depends. I would hire temps, and temps can turn into permanent. Finding employees, look, man, work.
So
HR,
the goal
HR makes a lot of money, right? That's why
Right, they do.
so finding good talent. Eventually,
Yes.
you mess around and get stuck with people just because it's helping you not mess up the business, but they're not pushing the needle like you need them to. You know what I'm saying? And eventually you be like, damn, you've been here 20 years. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Did you not see the bait before you saw the cage?
What you saying?
And what I'm saying is that in order to have a good company, you have to have people that are willing to help you get to the end or to the mission or to the bottom line or to the profit. No different than when you played your sports. When you played your let me finish. When you played your sports, right? You had teammates that helped you get to where you needed to get to. They upgraded you because I think you played running back or something like that. Your offensive line was if it was a good offensive line, they made you better. Just like your wife. Barry
Sanders don't got no Super Bowls.
Who?
Barry Sanders don't got no Super Bowls.
And he's still considered one of the all-time greats.
But he never made the Super Bowl because he never had a line.
But if he had an offensive line, we had this conversation all the time. If he had an offensive line, he would have had a Super Bowl.
Right.
So it goes back to the point of like guys got to pick good wives. That's why I say good wives, not just a wife, a good one. Right.
So that's what I'm saying though. Do Barry Sanders not play until he gets a good line? I'm not playing until I get a good line.
Understood. That's exactly my point. Go ahead. What you got to say?
But wait, but no, that goes against the logic that you employed earlier when you said, wouldn't you be who you are without this person? So which is it going to be? Are you going to be in the game when you finally get a wife? Or are you going to not play because you don't have what you want? You have to pick one. What's your stance?
No, I'm right on par.
But
I'm
he's wearing a
playing.
two-tone sweater, so you got to give him that.
I'm playing. I'm playing the game.
Right.
Even though my line sucks, I'm still going to play.
That's my
So
point.
then
But you can't play the game by yourself, though. That's the thing.
But that don't mean my teammates are good. I'm still going to play the game though.
But you're not going to win the game by yourself. You also going to need your teammates as well.
I'm not
To
gonna
throw you
win.
an alley-oop, to throw you. I mean, you have to have somebody. It's just like this. We not put on this earth to be by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody for everybody, and that's how God made the world. So you can't win a championship by yourself. I don't care how you may put it. I don't care how good you is. I don't care how many Super Bowl rings you got. You didn't get it by yourself.
I like what White School's saying because that's where I'm going.
Is what you can't get it by yourself. You have to have somebody there. And a wife, a woman, a good one, she's gonna bring value. So that's just it.
You gotta train it. You gotta train her. They don't come prepackaged. You gotta train her. Exactly. Exactly, White School. Exactly, White School. You gotta train her.
And you have to be trained as well. I don't know if you know that or not, but y'all have to be noted.
Who's gonna train me? Who's gonna train the
man? Your wife.
That's where you're wrong.
Sarah, so here's what's happening here. If you engage into prototypes, because he's losing his argument.
I'm not.
The more you engage,
definitely,
the more he feels justified in what he is saying.
Not even a little bit.
So a prototype. This back to your point that she has to be attentive. This is part of the building blocks of learning, right? So if you have to train her, she has to come equipped and be trainable, right? This is what I'm saying. A wife is you're able to extend who she extends your life by her sheer ability to do what's necessary and to become what's necessary to move the mission of your life forward. She is an extension. She's an extender to you.
She's not coming pre though. Like you're not getting her off the shelf like that.
I don't think anyone said that though. I don't think anybody brought that point up though. And the idea,
and that's why I posed the question: are we trying to keep guys single, or what are we doing? Like, because they're not coming prepackaged like that, unless they're 45. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming prepackaged like that.
So to answer your question, what I'm trying to expose is that a wife is hard to find. Like a good wife is hard to find.
Facts.
That's a true statement, right?
They are.
But it's also if you read the other passages, it's hard to find a faithful man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that there are some prerequisites for there to be for her to be a good wife, and there should be some things, and so there should be some things that we can all fall on. And you said one of the things that you said was that she helps with the mission. So if she's helping with the mission, that means that she has upgraded you, even if it's a notch. That means that she's helped you. Otherwise, she's a hindrance to you. Even if she's stagnant, she's not helping you. But if she's learning, like you said, because you said that you're a leader and you're teaching her, that means what you have taught her is going to come up under your mission and help you produce the mission that you're looking towards.
Okay, so here's what it is that goes against what Sir Howell was saying.
Okay,
right? Because in order for her to have, like, you have to train her. In order for you to train her, you have to have these things already.
Are we animals here or what? I'm confused.
In order for you to train her, you have to have these things already. Sir Howell was speaking as if Sir Hale was speaking as if he did not have these things and she had these things to help push him. And I'm saying that's not normal. The norm is you have to have these things, teach her, train her up for you to have this thing. Like, she's not going to introduce me to certain meals. That's going to be you introducing her to these meals so she can continue on to do the meals that you like.
I see what he's saying. So here, go ahead.
Humble that you see what he's saying.
I didn't say that I agree. Can I
that is
see?
these points. This
Can
is
I can I not see a person's perspective and still disagree? Is that not possible?
That's not possible.
Humble Dad.
That is
Yes,
very
yes, it is possible. I'll go with that on that one.
I can see how where he's going, but I don't believe that what he's saying is something that we would need to teach a man. So for example, when you get ready to teach your sons, and as you're teaching your sons, you're not going to say you need your wife needs to already becoming equipped to go along this journey. You're going to tell him that she needs to be teachable, she needs to be coachable, she needs to be able to maybe cook, maybe clean, right? Because if for example, right, the dope thing about my wife is that she cooks. It's not that I can't, but however, she did encourage me or challenge me to cook. And as a result of her helping me or challenging me or whatever the case may be, I became a pretty decent cook. But I'm dope on the grill though. Ain't that right, C?
Yeah,
You had
you're
the
winning.
wings.
Good.
Right? So, but before her, I didn't touch the kitchen. So that was an element of where she elevated my cooking skills or upgraded me on my cooking skills. So what I'm saying to you, Prototype, is that the wife, maybe the word upgrade is the word that is a trigger to you, but your wife should be making you better. Otherwise, she is a detriment. But if you want to say something, I'll let you say the last word, Prototype, and then I'm gonna transition. And Lost, you can get this next one, right? And if you need to say something about that one, then I'll let you get to that one. Okay. Go ahead. Did you good, Proto? I bet. So I'm gonna transition. I'm gonna play this video. This lady, she's kind of going viral a little bit, and she is. It's an interesting statement that she made about women. And I'm interested in seeing how Sierra will respond to this based on the statements that she made. But Lost, you're gonna go first, okay? Let me play it. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds, so bear with me.
Number one, I don't think that every woman is meant to be a wife, and I don't think that every man is meant to be a husband. We have to accept what it is that God puts on our heart. Now, that's not to say we're not meant to connect. I absolutely feel like we're put on this planet to connect with different people and create relationships and all of that. But does that mean you're meant to be married to this person? To be high value is to have more alone time because you have a higher standard, and most people don't want to have standard. They don't want to have accountability. Really and truly, the opportunity is to know that just because you're alone doesn't make you lonely. Just because you're not dating someone doesn't make you less valuable. But then you have to go back to what indoctrination says, where a woman feels like she's more valuable when she's married. A woman feels like she's more valuable when she's a mother. And if you don't have that, it's almost like people weaponize singleness. Oh, well, what does she know? She's single. What does she know? She ain't no mama. Why she trying to give parental advice? Well, you can parent people without ever birthing a child. We do it every single day. A lot of people are not meant to be wives, mothers. A lot of people are not meant to be husbands or fathers, but we do it anyway because society dupes us from the beginning. Society says, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, well, that's great. What is connected to achievement, whereas who do you want to be when you grow up is connected to fulfillment. How do we get into that bag, you know?
I think you're on mute, HD.
It's on you. What you got?
You know what? I love what she said, but the problem is that the people who are in those positions don't know that they're not supposed to be in those positions. Things happen. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, think about it. You have some people who get married who had no business being married, you know, but they don't know that they still do it. They have people who become parents who don't know they shouldn't become parents, but they still do it. You know, the thing about it is once you're there, the best thing for you to do is to figure out how you could do it better than what you did the day before. You know, I don't think there is a permission slip that says you, Sir Hale, you get to be a father, but you don't get to be a husband. You know what I mean? I think it really depends on you, man. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I think sometimes, man, people like to tell folks fairy tales and dreams to make them feel good about their situation. But if it's in your heart to do what you have to do, then I suggest that you learn about what you need to have done. Put in the actual work. It's say, for instance, if you want to be a husband, sometimes you might have to find out what it takes to be a husband. And when you prepare yourself, you go out and you find a wife. You know, if you want to be a father someday, you have to figure out what it takes to be a good dad. and learn everything you need to know. And sometimes it requires on the job training. You know what I mean? Sometimes you may work yourself to death, and all of a sudden you meet a lady and y'all get married or whatever, and now all of a sudden you don't know how to be a husband, and then you have a kid and you don't know how to be a dad. Well, sometimes that's on the job training. But life doesn't stop for anybody, man. Sometimes you have to learn what you got to learn along the way, and sometimes it's going to get scary. Sometimes you're not going to know what to do. Sometimes you're going to make some mistakes. But the good thing about making sure that you have somebody to go with along the way, as somebody that you can bank on and say, hey, they're going to be here no matter what, whether I mess up or not, or whether if I win. And I think sometimes that is the stress reliever that we need in life sometimes. Because the worst thing that you can do is get to the end of life with regret. And you never filled up your dash along the way, always working all the time. So I tell everybody, you're never going to be ready for life. You're never going to be ready. So just enjoy the ride and learn your life's lessons along the way. And then when you learn something, give back. Teach somebody else, hey, look, this is what I found out when I was living life. And maybe you can use it too.
That's good. Who you got, bro?
I'm going to go with Sir Hale.
Let's get it.
I love what my brother Lost in Translation podcast said. I don't think I can add too much more to that. I like what the lady said on the clip. I think it was really good. The only thing missing, though, is are we talking about just general people or are we talking about believers? Like if we're adding that Christian context to it, now you can't be out here just, having, relations with people, connecting. Everybody know what connecting is. It sounds a good word, but we know what the connection is talking about, right? So you can't just be connecting and not be in a covenant relationship, which is what we call marriage. That needs to be there. But I just have to piggyback off of what Lost in Translation podcast said. I won't add too much more to that. Let's go with I'm gonna call you but how do you pronounce your name?
Sierra.
Oh, Sierra. Oh my gosh.
Sierra.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is on
It's
Sierra.
Okay. I would have to say I actually agree with her, because everybody is not meant to be married. You know what I'm saying? And we do get in some relationships to where, hey, let's do it just because everybody else doing it. And some people go into marriages not even ready. This may not even be the person that's for you. And you just went ahead and got married just because they have certain qualities. I feel as if a husband and a wife have to have certain qualities in order to make them a husband, or in order to make them a wife, and we don't want to just have a wife, or we don't want to just have a husband. We actually want that good in front of it. That's my take. Everybody not meant to be married, and I agree with her. I totally agree.
That's what's up. Proto, what you got? Listen, you are not slow with words, bro. What is it?
No, it's just the vibe I got from what she was saying was just she was just speaking around feminist flop, man. Like, that's okay. It was all garbage and BS. Everything she was saying. So
simple as that. Nothing more than that. What particular part where you like? Okay, this is where I hear the fluff. Feminist.
You can't tell somebody how to parent if you don't got no kids. Like you can't. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't been in the thick of it. You just haven't done it enough. Like there's a whole journey that comes with it. So somebody telling me how to raise my kids and they don't got no kids, they don't got nothing to say to me for real. You know what I'm saying? So not in that regard. And it goes with the same thing with with being married. Like if you haven't been married, you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So keep your comments over there until you get into the mud. You can't tell me how to get out. So it just is what it is.
Interesting. If I've never been in the mud, I can't tell you how to get out. So it's interesting that you say that, because if you've done enough research, you're qualified as a scholar, even though you may not have done the particular thing that somebody else has done. Like for example, Eric Spoelstra, we go with sports again. He's never played basketball on a professional level, but yet he's led a team that was not predicted to even make it past the second round to the championship twice. Right? You have the Van Gundys that's never played. But then you have those players that were really, really good but couldn't coach. Michael Jordan is considered one of the all-time greats, but he's a horrible GM. You have Magic Johnson, horrible coach. Isaiah Thomas, horrible whatever he done except commentating the game, right? So I would say that is very plausible for an individual that doesn't know about something to be able to educate somebody on it if they have enough time in which they have educated themselves on. Now, I disagree with her because there's no way that God would make man and woman and to have them procreate to extend the population for then to say that most or a lot of women and a lot of men don't need to be husband and wives. Even women that were not able to have children were still married, just in the opportunity that they could get pregnant. So I agree and disagree with Prototype, but on the premise I do agree is that it's a lot of for her, in my estimation, because I've been watching her for a while, she's getting to a point where she sees the wall. And so she's trying to create a narrative that makes it okay to hit the wall. Because I don't know if y'all know her, but in other segments, she talks about how women need to be preparing themselves to be a wife, or how they need to be navigating in how they vet a guy. This is the things that she's saying. And then in this particular clip, she's saying it's okay to be single. Yes, Paul talked about that. It's okay to be single, but that's not what we were created to be, is single. That's not why we were created, right? We were created to be able to find somebody and then procreate, or get married and procreate and extend the population. And the more often that people are, and this is my soapbox, and the more times that people get in the bag of, I don't need to be married, I don't want to be married, it just goes against literally why we are here. One of the reasons why we're here. Because what's the whole purpose of Jesus talking about being the bridegroom to the church? What's the whole point of that? Right? And then what's the whole point of saying the husband is like Christ and the woman is like the church? What if we're all just supposed to be single? Then that negates the whole premise of that. What say you? Anybody have a response to that? Go ahead, sir.
I do want to focus on her point. I don't think she was saying that we should all be single. She was saying that not all people are marriage material. But here's the thing. She's coming from a deterministic perspective where it's almost like everything is predetermined. So if you're going to be a wife, it's going to be predetermined. If your husband is predetermined, and really it's not, it's a decision you make, right? Here's my thing. If you're going to have children, you need to be married, period. Right? I know that we were like, if you got enough money, if you got enough success, you got a good support system, you can do it. But there is so much incontrovertible evidence that suggests that children who are raised in two-parent households fare much better than people who don't. Right? So I think if we go based off of the research, come on, scholars, if we got evidence that says this, then we should be doing this, because it's in the best interest of our children. And then we set them up with a healthy example for them to become better with their own legacies, so on and so forth. Now, here's the observable evidence that I would give us. We haven't been doing it that way culturally. Like this American way of thinking is about individuality. It is about your happiness, about what you want and how you feel. And just look at the shambles that our communities are in, because we have focused so much on our own lust and our own desires and have not given thought to our children. And look at the psychological disorders that are on the rise. Look at teenage depression and suicide, the use of antidepressants, the rise of anxiety around the world. I think that we have done it the wrong way for too long, and we need to go back to doing what it takes to be families again. And families don't start when kids are there. Family starts when a man and a woman decides to get married and then to build a legacy together.
That's good. That's really good. Anybody wanted to say something before I transition? Well, he was right on the button with the
Right.
question. Go ahead, Lost.
You know what I was saying, that I appreciate what Sir Hale's saying is that, and to add on to that a little bit more, preparing to be a husband and wife really starts when you're a child. You know what I mean? And how you're being groomed to be a husband or wife, because that sets the tone for when you actually want to be married. You know, you don't just wake up one day and just walk through the church doors and be like, I want to be married today. You know, you at some point you would have had to been taught, you know, to be a gentleman. At some point you have to be taught to be a lady, and you have to be able to be able to display manners and be the thing that somebody would want to be married to. And sometimes those things take a lifetime to do, you know, because sometimes kids hard-headed. You know, you got to tell them over and over and over again. If you got kids, you already know, you know, they're going to forget. So that's the beautiful part about what Sir Hale was talking about making sure when you raise your kids, you raise them in a two-parent household, because there are going to be times where mama's voice doesn't carry as hard as daddy's voice, you know? And then there are going to be some times where mama's voice soothes better than daddy's voice. And that thing balances itself out. So preparing somebody to be a husband or wife really begins when they're a child. And the Bible even speaks to that, raise up a child in the way they should grow. When they're old, they won't depart. So I think that's one of those things that a lot of people like to leave out. But, you know, in order for you to be a husband and wife, you have to be prepared from the beginning and keep that in mind. Yes, you let your kids be kids or whatever, but throw in a little life's lesson in there every now and then, you know, and get them to start thinking about it. You know, hey, when you get kids one day, you know, and they act up like you acting up on me, what you gonna tell them? You know what I'm saying? Just start, you know, giving them little things to think about. And I think that's absolutely correct what Sir Hale said. It's better when it's a two-parent household. You know, it really is. And that way you get to mold them and get them to thinking about it in the future.
That's good. I asked my kids that question. I said, do y'all realize how challenging it is to parent y'all? Do you understand that all of y'all act so different and respond to different things, that in order for me to make sure that I'm doing a good job, I don't know. I won't know until later. That's what it feels like. But I interviewed all four of my children the other day, trying to see if I wanted that to be some of my content, right? And also selfishly being able to spend time with them at the same time that I do something, right? So I'm trying to do two things at once, obviously. And my son Josh, I had asked him this question of, what is the one thing that dad cannot teach you or help you with? I think it was help you with. I said, what's the one thing that dad can't help you with? And if you've seen the clip, you know what he said. Does anybody know what he said? No, right? He said, my relationship with God. I said, what? Blew my mind, because I'm thinking he ain't gonna find nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I said, bro, like, why you say that? He said, because as much as I would like for you to help me with it, it's my decision in order to build my relationship with God. So you cannot help me with that. So to answer the question, similar to what Prototype is saying, and the question, I think what the hard thing is that parents don't think that they are raising somebody else's spouse. I learned that from Kirk Cameron at a seminar that he did. He said, you all need to know that you're raising somebody else's spouse. And I believe that if parents looked at it from that disposition, that they may look at their kids a lot different and parent their kids a lot different, right? So that's the question. What societal or cultural shifts have contributed to making it harder? Go ahead, Proto, what you got? I see you.
So to speak to the question, the breakdown of the house is definitely what's contributed to us not finding suitable partners. The women are uncovered. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man's only going to treat a woman as good as the men that's in her life is going to treat her. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if she don't have a dad to treat her a certain way, like, that's your bar. Like, even if you do have a dad, if I know your dad was on drugs or was a crackhead, that's my bar on the level I'm going to treat you. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have a good man in your life that where you got a good enough bar, especially if you were just raised by your mom, oh, she don't got a bar, I'm going there playing all over her, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's nothing for real. We don't really, like, we're only held accountable by other men. So that's how we think about it, right? As a young boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, now when you meet a girl with a daddy, oh, she got a daddy, I gotta come right. Oh, he's serious. I gotta ask for her, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call the crib after a certain age, like after a certain time. Oh, your dad around? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're extra alert on where's that other man, you know what I'm saying? And making sure that you're not going to step out of bounds because you gonna have to come see him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's coming to see you. So when a woman's uncovered, none of those things, none of those boundaries are in place, you know. And unfortunately, men don't typically, you know, when there ain't no boundaries, we're gonna do it wherever we're allowed to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the women being uncovered is what broke it all down. And like I said, like, of course their mamas and parents are not thinking about, just Gen X parents for sure. I don't know how millennial, you know, I'm a millennial parent, but they weren't thinking about us as spouses to anybody else. They were too busy telling us, get out the poor zone, right? Go get the bag, get out the poor zone. Don't, you know, it was never about what kind of husband we're going to be, what kind of wife, you know, stop being poor. Because the reason why we poor is giving us most of our issues. So we had a heavy focus on being poor, and there's no daddy in the house to hold men that the daughters are dating accountable. You know what I'm saying? So that's what broke down why we had an 80% clip in the Black community. Shout out to Dwayne Brown. Dwayne, you ain't us.
That's so funny. That's so messed up. You're gonna keep saying that. Cece, what you think about the question? Or what anybody has said? You on mute. No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a respond off what Prototype was saying as far as the bar. You know, I don't agree with that, because I feel as if you know, if you have a woman, if you have someone in your life, you know, you automatically want to come into that relationship with having respect for that person, for that individual, regardless if they covered or not. You know what I'm saying? You don't just treat a person, oh, well, shoot, she ain't got nobody, shit, I can handle her any kind of way. That's not morally right. You know, it's not right. You know, because you got to treat a person with respect. How would you feel as if a person talked to you or treated you any kind of way just because you don't have certain people around you? You know, that should actually be a more of a reason why you as a man should want to cover that woman, because you don't have nobody to cover you. So baby, let me bring you close, let me love on you, let me show you what it is to be respected, to feel valued. Just because you ain't got nobody, you got me. You know, so I don't agree with that. I feel as if, you know, you supposed to, if that's your person, if that's your wife, you treat that woman as value, regardless of who she have or who she don't have, you know. But as far as it being hard to find a wife nowadays, because of the cultural shifts, I do feel as if, well, I'm gonna speak on me personally. I was raised in a household, it wasn't my dad, but my mom, she was married, you know, so I was raised, I had a stepfather, I had a mom. So no, I'm not married and I haven't been married, but I was raised to, you know, be respected and to be a wife and to do wifely duties and, you know, just do the right thing as a woman. I was raised how to be a woman. Nowadays in life, how society is, these millennium parents, they treat their kids as their friends. So they're not teaching them certain things. They're not teaching them morals. You know what I'm saying? So things is different now. It's a complete shift. So that's why it is harder to find a wife nowadays, because we're not taught certain qualities nowadays. We're not. Everything is off of social media. That's what everything is. Everything is unrealistic now. You know, and people looking on Instagram, people looking on Facebook, and they thinking this is what life is, when you actually don't know the backdrop. You don't know what's going on behind that social media. You don't know. So I think it's just people setting unrealistic expectations nowadays because of what they're seeing on social media.
That's what's up. Everybody got to speak, but did anybody want to add to, sir? Did you want to add to this statement, or Prado? You wanted to respond?
I just wanted to ask, so are y'all animals now that we got to teach y'all?
Well, actually, you the one that's talking like the women animals. Oh, you got a trainer. Oh, you got to do this. No,
right, but you just confirmed it for me by saying we wasn't taught.
Anything.
You did. You're like, we wasn't taught. We wasn't taught to be wise.
No, I didn't say. Hold on, you heard me wrong. I didn't say we. I said nowadays they're not teaching how to have certain values. I didn't say then. I said now.
Yeah.
Meaning today.
Yeah. Because she said that she was taught. Is that they are not being taught nowadays. That's what she said.
Well, I mean, I live now. So like I said, women need to be taught. And then when you come back and say, yeah, we haven't been taught. Because you had to be taught.
She didn't
I did say it. Listen, that's the thing. You got selective hearing, sir. You got selective hearing.
I heard you say we can run the tape back. You said we wasn't taught.
No, I did.
Yeah, you did. We run it
back.
I
did not.
Listen, y'all gonna both have to go listen to the tape, so y'all can both be able to confirm.
I know what I said. I know exactly what I said.
I didn't say that you didn't say it, but y'all both should go listen and see who's right, and that's how we'll get that done, right? So now, my premise in, we always talk about this. We want to give solutions, right? So I'm gonna ask a question. I think it was on script, off script, but nevertheless, but for the sake of time, I want to get to the point of why is it, or where? Okay, we're gonna go with where would a guy that is marriage minded be able to find a good wife?
Church.
Where? Okay. where could it be? Lost. Tell us what's your thought process on where. You can give me one or two locations. Don't give me too many. Okay. What do you think?
I can give you one. The hospital, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. A woman who works at a hospital is A, intelligent, B, she's caring and nurturing, and she's already attentive and built in, has to have a schedule. She works hard. You know what I mean? So if I was looking for a wife, if I had to start somewhere, church is a good place, but church is a place where a lot of broken souls are. I need a profession.
Is that what
I've heard? Listen, I need a profession. Listen, if I get beat up, I need her to put a Band-Aid on me or something, man. You know what I mean? Stitch me back up and put me back in the game, coach. You know, that type of thing. But honestly though, the church is a good place because you got foundations, principles, things you can think of. And not only that, when I'm talking to her, I can verify what she's saying when it comes back to me because I've already been trained. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So I know I put it to like this. I can separate, the wheat from the chaff myself. I can understand when somebody's trying to pull wool over my eyes because I've trained myself. But if church wasn't an option, I would definitely go to the hospital, man. I would definitely go to the hospital.
That's what's up. Who you going with next?
I'm gonna go with Prototype.
This will be good. Go ahead, sir.
Boy, you asking for hell, boy. You asking for hell, boy. You one of them nurses. Oh man, you asking for help? Didn't you moderate for Kevin Samuels?
Yeah, that's why I
He-
said it.
He told you better.
Listen,
That's why
have
I
you
said
seen
it.
information about nurses, my guy?
Man, Kevin said
Oh
don't
my-
fool with them nurses, man.
Oh man, dude, you are
Crazy.
good lord, man. Hey, shout out to President 48th, man. Like a good wife is found in a nuclear family. You ain't gonna be no place. You can't find them in the church. You're not gonna find them in a hospital. You're just gonna have to get lucky that she came from a nuclear family and got a good family structure. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're gonna find a good wife at, man. But other than outside of that, you're not gonna find one just out and about. I mean, you like I said, if a good family structure, man. I want to say teachers, but nah. There's nowhere like a good family structure. You got to check who she is, and there ain't no place where you gonna find that.
Good family structure. I got you. Who you got going next?
Let's go with Sir Hell.
So this is an interesting question, and it's one I don't like because there's no one answer. So if I said you find wives at hospitals, if I said this can be challenged because it's a different kind of hospital for broken people, for their souls. And being in church all of my life, most of the mistakes I've made were in church. So I can tell you firsthand that just because they're in there praising the Lord don't mean they won't drop it like it's hot. Right? I'm telling you what I know. If I go to the hospital, I can't say that just because they work and they're professional that they have ethics. Like sometimes people ethics don't extend beyond their job description. As soon as they're done, right? I can't say you go into the corporate landscape and because she's corporate, she's going to be good because you don't know what people are doing to get promoted. The one common denominator that I see though, you can find a good woman serving somewhere. If you find a woman who is willing to serve something, to serve others, particularly like the elderly or children, and she's not doing this because she wants something like notoriety for herself, but there is a deep purpose for her to help and to contribute and to add value to the world. I can't say you can find her in corporate. I can't say you can find her in the healthcare. I can't say you can find her at church, but you can find her serving someplace. And let's go with C.
Let's go see.
Man, I would have to 100% agree with you, Sir Hill. It's no right place where you can find a mate. You know, I mean, you can find your mate at the grocery store. You know, in a cereal aisle or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's really it's not a right and a wrong place where you can find somebody. I think wherever your energies connect, that whatever you're looking for, hopefully y'all find something, morally in common. You can find someone anywhere. Sure, you can find somebody at the club, to be honest with you. You can. So, like I said, I agree with you. I agree with Sir Hill. There's no right place and there's no wrong place.
See, I'm gonna get you for what you did. I was shaking my head with you like, yeah. And then she gonna slip the club, and I'm like,
no, but
interesting. No, I saw what you did there.
What's crazy is it could happen, but it could happen, right? Because
it could.
I know he's a man. He's a pastor. He's not a pastor, but he's right up underneath the pastor, the church I used to go to, and him and his wife met at a bar, right? And they've been married 35, 40 years, I want to say. And they have 3 kids and they have 3 grandbabies. And he's a marriage counselor now. When that's not what he was before. He was a somewhat of like a loose cannon type addict, but then God found him after that, so it's very possible, but the likelihood is very
to that point.
Very, very slim.
Well, we don't prescribe it. Can we agree on that?
We don't prescribe
well,
it.
For hell, they making songs about it, man. They making songs about it.
You can find me in the, you know what I'm saying?
No, not them songs, the country songs. You know what I'm saying? Used to spend my nights out in the barroom. Remember that? Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same
He said in
thing.
the comments, he says he found his wife. Now, see, I like Mr. He said and Mr. C said. Humble, have you met them?
See what I'm saying?
Humble, have you met them?
Have I met Mr. He said?
Yeah, the
You
same.
said at the club on New Year's.
He is a fantastic. He and his wife, fantastic creators. I hope you can get him on your show one day. Yeah.
Listen, let him. Hey, Mr. He said, hey, come on the show. We'd love to have you for sure. You know,
They've been married, I think, over 20 years. So they're different, though. He is cerebral, she is logical, and they've worked so hard together. So it is possible to find it, but I think it goes back to the premise of what we're talking about. It really depends on who you are, what you come from. Because if you know what to look for, you can go in any place and find what you're looking for if you know what you're looking for. It's possible, but we don't prescribe it, particularly in today's landscape. Could we agree on that part?
that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yes.
I would say that you find your wife right in front of you. I think that most people are looking in a way that is not helpful to them. I would say, like, what, because if you're going out, but your premise is not looking for, you're not looking to be married, then you're not going to find them, right? For me, I was not looking to be married, but I knew that I wanted to be married at some point after I lost Jen, right? I knew that, and little did I know that she was right in front of me, because I went on this Facebook group or whatnot, and little did I know that she would be the one, like we talked about before. No different than, Sir Hale, she was right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you had an element of, you know what, I need to have a wife, or I'm looking for a wife, or I'm in the mindset of being married, right? And so if people, I would say where you can find a good wife is if you are a good husband. I think that God would honor you.
Hold there. You gotta let that breathe. That was perfect. You can find a good wife if you are a good husband. That's gonna be my new message for 2025. Humble Dad, I appreciate that.
That's a bet. And so one of the things that I'm about to do, hopefully my church allows it, I'm gonna be starting a marriage-minded men club community or whatever, and talking to men about, what it's going to take to be a husband, so that you know how to look for a wife, right? Because as leaders, we have to be able to say, you know what, this is my mission, and this is the job requirement for the employee that's going to be in the business with me, so to speak. Or we can, if you want to look at it as partner, whatever you want to look at it as, my teammate, I got to know first and foremost that that's what it's got to be. But I'm not letting the women off the hook either, though. You feel me? And as I told y'all, women got to keep their legs closed, because that's where their leverage is. And once they lose the leverage, now it's the men that we got to wait on the man to see how he gonna rock, right? And so if you want to, once again, and if you want to find a good wife, be a good husband. Anything before we get out of here? Cece, where can they find you? Or are you on IG or Instagram or any social media or anything like that? No, that's not it, Cece.
Yes, hold on. Okay. Yes. My IG is Sierra CEARIA _ your realtor. My Facebook is Sierra CCG CEARIA CCG. That is me.
Appreciate you for coming on. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
I
did. I enjoyed you guys. Y'all got some good. Y'all got some good going on. I like this. I'm gonna get you prototype.
People been
wifey girls.
People been
I
saying
you give her hell. Whoa, Lord, I'm gonna pray for her.
Listen, she been rocking with it for a minute. Prototype, what you got? What can they find?
Man, you can find me Prototype Dad on YouTube, TikTok. I don't. You don't got to pray for me. We good over here. You know what I'm saying? I always end up right. I'm gonna just say that.
You batting probably about an 85 for sure. You know, what I'm
Some
saying?
way I end up right. We'll go with my man Lost.
That's what's
Thank you,
up. What
sir.
you got, Lost?
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, Lost in Translation Podcast, on Instagram, also on TikTok for the time being, listen to the 19. You can also find me here on Humble Dash channel as well, and Black Man Unfiltered. Thank you so much for having me today.
Hey, appreciate you as always. And none other than Sir Hale, what you got, bro? Where can they find you?
First of all, I want to give a great shout out to the illustrious HD for another great stream. Thank you for having us on here for another great discussion. To Sierra, to Prototype, to Lost in Translation, and the wonderful chat. You guys can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, under Sir Hale Speaks. I'm there. Relationships is what we do, and we're going to do this even more in 2025. Thank you for having me.
That's what's up, man. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and comment into the and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.